This week has been wonderful and for T triple Q. The thing is, I haven't really got much of this yield. I did trade today. I got out of my 170s. I'd rolled it to 172, and then I was already making money in the 172s, and I got out of it. So I made like $1,000 or something extra. So anyway, here's my totals. I actually still holding the 5 contracts that have 10 cents left in them, but they'll expire today. So I've moved over the $100,000 out of that account, made it back to 100, but I have made 67,778, I guess, on the year. That would be this number here. I'm really looking at this number, seeing if I can move it to $1 million by the end of the year. I think that's going to be tough without some day trading or something like that, because I need 8.43%, and we're looking at about 5-6 weeks left in the year. So definitely could be done. Will it be done? I don't know. Selling these puts, I'd have to get a little bit creative, I think, to do that. Let's look and see what the stock's doing. So the security is way up. The market's down. The Nasdaq's up though, and this guy was up over $4. So I went to 178.54. So it's at 177.31 this morning. I could have bought it at 169.50 easy. Actually, I had bought some and sold it for a point earlier in the cash account. So in 2 days, I could have made 8 points. So there you go. I mean, there's money to be made here. I'm just trading around the edges, basically. So I don't know why I'm so disappointed, but I made about $9,000 this week. So kind of shut the fuck up. I mean, if you think about it, any week you make $9,000, just shut up. Quit your whining. But there is a lot of money that was been left on the table because this thing's just running. So TCL and T triple Q and XPSL, all the triples that I've seen, most of them are now a doubles for the year. Let's look and see my overall where I am. So I've passed $1.25 million for us total. This hasn't been updated in a week or so. She's probably up a little bit more, but let's say $500 or something. These totals are pretty solid, and these totals actually are totally solid. So I'm up almost $500,000 in Fidelity accounts. I'm about $21,000 away, 21,300, 21,247. And then I added a column here that says how far do I need to be to get my IRA to $1 million. And so this number to $1 million, I'd have to get 8.43%. So I'm kind of looking at that right now. My original goal for this year, which was a crazy goal, was to get to $1 million on this number right here, and then get to $1 million without my wife's. And of course, I broke both of those goals by a substantial amount, which is fantastic. But going into the next year, I don't think anybody predicts that they're going to make 70-some%. Even though you'd like to do it, and maybe you've done it in past years. Let's look at my past years. So I started out with $135,000 in 2018, and I went to. I'd made $1 million in real estate, and I basically had counted the market off. Although the market had made a lot of the funds to make real estate possible. But this is what I had left in my 401k, and I rolled it over. There was some other stuff there, but anyway, this is what I started with, kind of. And then I traded TCL for 2019, and I could have made even more than 140%. It was up crazy, but I made 140%, which is it's one of those years you just love to have. So this will be a year that goes down in history for me. This was life changing here, because it went from you're 50 some years old and you've got basically nothing in savings, although you have this real estate that's kicking off monthly income that you've created, but the market, you really don't have a lot of market funds, and so you could buy a couple of cars and you'd be done with this, although I didn't do that. And then boom, you go to 324. So at this point you're thinking, wow, $1 million might be possible. So I was born in '63, so here I would have been 56. So in September I'd be 56, so I'd be 55 basically. So then 2020, that was a rough year with COVID and all that stuff, but I still eked out with 62%, which is spectacular, really great for that year. And these numbers start getting really big when you start timesing them away. So now, in 2 years, I went for 135,000. Oh, you don't have very much for somebody in his 50s. To I have $500,000. I'm a player. So now that I went there, then I'm up 76% for the year, or 75.88. So that's where this number comes from. And this number is just basically this number here. And so for 2021, I'm already at this. Now, it'd be really great if I could make this $1 million, and then I'd have this in 3 years. I went from here to $1 million. That would be a pinnacle right there. But it's going to be close, I think. If I do it in January instead of December, is it really life altering or whatever? An extra month. It would really look good on the spreadsheet if I made it here. Whatever. Let's look at my 2-year totals. So my 2-year totals, 184% in this, and that's basically just these two numbers times together. What do you get this number here? So, and then that's not how I got this number. How I got this number is I went to my year to date on 2020 and did the actual calculation. Anyway, I took out $100,000 on the house. We have a house loan. We paid the house off. We don't really have any real debt, and but the market went down so much last August. I convinced the wife we ought to go take out $100,000 loan on our property, and we've got a modest house in Dallas, and so this was a home equity loan for 3.88%. I realize that's not a great loan for a home loan, but 3.88 for a home equity loan with no fees and stuff. We took that. And that was last August. So since last August, we've made 101%. So we've doubled it, this money. So that was a great idea to do. Of course, I'm a genius because I'm the one that wanted to do it. This money here was money out of my wife's 401k. She gave me 11.5 after she bought a house, and she took $1,500 out for Christmas. I told her to open up an account and let me trade it, and so in 2 years I made $22,000. So she's up, 3x. She's up 200% almost in that money in 2 years. So that's fantastic. So here's my calculation on what I've, and I don't know if y'all do these kind of calculations, but I'm going to back into this, and I'm going to say, give me 2 years to get to $2 million, to run this number up here to $2 million. So what do I need? I need about 59%. Problem is, this includes the wife's, other than the wife's 127,000, I have access to trade the rest of it. So I could trade this, and I could just put in one of the um, TCL or T Triple Q or XPSL, or split it between it, and I probably would get quite a bit. Now the wife's, she'll probably not have access to those type of figures or whatever. But anyway, so I only say this because this might be a little bit higher to actually get there, because she's going to weigh it down a little bit. But we're not finished with the year yet, so we might be able to drop this number maybe to 55 or something like that by the end of the year. And then if you need, basically 60%, what do you need per month, 24 months? What do you need per week? And then how's my weekly been running? So my weekly's been running at 1.28, and so this is what I'd have to do to get to $2 million. Now, is it greedy to go to 1 million this year, and then hey, look and see what takes us to 2 million? Well, I'm only 58, and I can't take the money out till 59 and a half. But actually, I can take this money out any time, because it's essentially a loan. You can take this money out, and I have taken all this money and actually spent it. So, I could take money out of here if I were to make a lot in my 401k, and then knowing that I can, spend it. If I spent this, then I could, go on or whatever. But I'm kind of rambling. But anyway, do y'all do this kind of thing with your totals and try to back into them and set goals? And so that's kind of what I do. Anyway, little fearful for the market. I think the market is just going to go really up, and next year it's going to go up some more. However, wow, it's went up a lot recently. So, if we do have a pullback, there's a lot of money that's been made recently that might pull out. So that's something we have to worry about. Let's look at the total. So this number is this number here. This is my Fidelity, Webull. This is about how much I made in Webull and my Roth accounts. And then my wife's 401k. She's only made 14 grand on 100. So her returns haven't been that great. But I wish I could trade this amount. That would kind of help her out there. So we've earned about $500,000 this year in the market, which, anytime somebody does that, even if they're some rich fart or whatever, then that's huge. And which I'm not really, but if you add our wages and then our real estate's we're about $13,000. This might be a little high versus what we actually did, because we have a lot of expenses, but this would be net. So this should be higher, because I'm adding 6 units next year, at least 6 units, maybe 7. I have 5 that I'm working on right now, so this number is going to be bigger. There's going to be some money that's going to be spent there. I'm already spending it. But this number is crazy. I mean, we don't feel like we're wealthy or anything, but did we make $857,000 this year? Of course, a lot of it's paper gains in the market, but wow, that just seems crazy. So anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. Now, where are we going with this thing? Wow, this thing is just up like a rocket. And I'm going to refresh it here. And so this thing is just really taken off. I want to show you again how you can go and you can look and see what some of the top holdings are. If you go to the Qs and then you go to the holdings, and then T Triple Q is the triple over the Qs basically. So these are the holdings, and this is the weight that they have. So Microsoft and Apple are really high, but these other ones are high too. So Nvidia, when it went up like 11% the other day, see it's at 4%, but it'll move the average because it went up so much. If you click here, you can get the quotes for all of these guys. And so you can kind of see like, I'm not sure why it does that every time, but wow, you can kind of see, I mean, everything except PayPal is up. So that's why this thing's up. And Adobe's up 4%. So the rest of them, they're just solid gains. The NASDAQ just has solid gains. So nothing's way up and crazy. It's just solid gains across the board. So if you look at the NASDAQ at up 0.56%, and you look down through here and you say, 0.5%, almost 1%, 1%, 0.5%, 2%, 3% for Nvidia, Adobe. I just don't like to do single stock. You can do your own mutual fund and pick some of these tech stocks, but I like playing these triples. It gives you leverage without actually having to take out money and pay for the leverage. I know people say that it's gonna crash someday, but I don't know about that. Let's look and see what this guy's done for the year. This is a little bit depressing because I was beating this average about 13 points at one time and 8 points for quite a while. And now, of course, I missed the last 25 points or so. Kind of. And so now, when we look at this guy, I don't know why that's doing that. If we look at the year to date, it's up 95%. Look at that. Is that crazy or what? 95%. I'm not sure why the NASDAQ's not showing up. There we go. The NASDAQ's showing up. So the NASDAQ's up 24%, and the TQQ's up 95%. And I think I showed that I'm up 75% or 77% now. We'll go back and look at this. So I'm up 70, almost 76%. So, I really haven't done. Let's look at some of the other ones that I like to look at. This is the one that I made a lot of money in 2019. It's mainly tech, TCL, and it's up 107%. The reason I went to TQQQ other than TCL is because I like to trade the sell the puts weekly, and that really did me well earlier in the year. And then of course the index has caught up with me. There's another triple XPXL. XPXL. Or no, I'm sorry. SPXL. EXL. I'm goofy. Alright, so yeah, so this guy's up to, so all these indexes are close to, so these are the ones that I like. I like TQQQ, TCL, which is tech, and SPXL, which is the S&P 500 triple. These are triples. So I'm trading I'm at about 75%, and these are all almost double or double. So, I don't know. I feel like I left money on the table. So hopefully you guys, when I said, buy and hold is actually a great strategy, that y'all went and jumped into it and bought and hold. So anyway, this is where we are. For good, for bad, I like to just show my actual trades. I'm not happy with what I did this week, but I made $9 something like that. So hey, $9. If I could make $9 every week, I'd go for it. These numbers, if you could tell me that I can make 25%, every year, then I would take it. So if I make 75%, I got to be happy with it. Even though the indexes are up 100%, these triples are up 100%. Anytime you can make 75%, you need to just shut up and take it, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. So let's see if we can run this up to $1 million. That's kind of my thing that I'm going to try for this year. And then we're going to try to move this up a little bit so that we can move this down to where in the next 2 years we can make $1 million. Now, you would think that I could do 30% in 2 years, for 2 years. But, we might have a bad market. So you never know. You never know. So anyway, that's where we are. And that's where we're going. And y'all follow along. I mean, your numbers don't have to be this big, or you might have bigger numbers than this. The numbers don't matter as much as the percentages. If you get these percentages up, look what I did. If you don't have $100,000, you need to, get into the savings mode, get a better career or whatever. I mean, once you get $100,000, the money starts making a difference on what you can make in the market versus what you can make in your career and dump it in there. So things really started changing for me for when I got to 100 grand because, you make 20% a year at 100 grand. I mean, that start being real money. Anything before that, if you got $40,000 and you make a couple of $1,000s on it, it might be good returns, but it's not going to be life-changing for you. It might help you pay your taxes or something like that. But if you look at this, looking at these triples, this gain, I think most people can save this much money. It might be tough for some people, but as you get older, a lot of people have this much money in their 401k, and then if you change jobs, roll it over to an IRA like I did, then you have it self-directed, and then you can do this. So it'd be nice to see this guy at 2023 to be $2 million, but you never know. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. But right now we're looking at moving this to $2 million, so we're at 1.25. So if you're looking back at my videos, this has been very incremental. It should give people a lot of hope for people that are following along. And if you make incremental gains like this, or if you made better gains, then good for you. That's just great. What we want here is there's people out there that are making millions of dollars, and we want to be one of them. So let's giddy up and get some of these big gains. And if you've done better than this, then I applaud you. I'm happy with these gains. For me, I think I could have done better, especially here recently. But can you cry with 75% gains? I don't think so. So maybe we boost this up to 80%, and we're going to have to be happy with that, no matter what the index does. So that's where we are.